Good morning, class. So, the first chapter that we are going to start in physics, that is your first chapter, measurement. So, about measurement, you have learned a lot of things in your previous class. Like you have read different quantities that you can measure, then the units of those quantities. You have also learned different systems of unit, okay, like SI system, CGS system, and foot pound system. So here in this class we are going to study other quantities which can be measured. Okay, so first quantity that we are going to study is area. So you can see I have written over here, area is the measure of region inside a closed line. So what is a closed line? It is something, say a shape, or suppose there's a line or a curve which starts from this point and it comes back to this point again. Okay, or suppose I start from this point like this and this making a triangle, or I start from here like this making a square. I reach again to the same point from where I have started. So these shapes are closed shapes. So all the region which is inside this shape, okay, or this triangular shape or the square, whatever region is inside this shape, that is known as the area of this shape. Then the unit of area in SI system, it is meter square, and in CGS system, if you remember CGS system, that is centimeter, gram and second. So length you are going to measure in centimeters, mass in gram and time in second. So in CGS system the unit of area is centimeter square, in SI system it is meter square. So if you are having any problem in learning these type of units, you can simply derive them like area of a square. You might have studied area of a square in mathematics. Okay, so side into side. So if you have the unit of measuring side, suppose you are measuring side in centimeter. Okay, so centimeter multiplied by another side, it will also be measured in centimeter. This gives us centimeter square. Okay, similarly if you had measured side in meter, then meter multiplied by meter will give you meter square. All right, similarly area of a rectangle, you know the formula, length into breadth. So you will measure length in centimeter or meter and breadth in centimeter or meter. Multiplying both of them, you will get meter square and centimeter square. So this is the unit of area. Now for the measurement of irregular shapes, suppose I want to measure the area of an irregular shape. Okay, what is an irregular shape? Suppose I draw something like this. Okay, suppose this. So how will you measure the area of this figure? You are not getting any formula for this one. I don't know if there is any formula, right? We don't know any formula of this figure, and we cannot even measure its sides and all. So how am I going to get the area of this figure? So for such kind of figures, what we do, we draw we take the help of a graph paper. Okay, so there are certain steps. I will first show you how we do this thing, how we measure the area of a irregular shape. So see, I'm going to show it here. See, this is an irregular shape I was having. So we don't know any formula of measuring the area of this shape. Okay, so first step is we draw the shape on a graph paper like this. Okay, this paper here, you can see a number of squares already drawn on the paper, right? This paper, there are this kind of big squares, and then it is further divided into very small graphs. Can you see? Right? Small graphs, squares. So one big square is divided into, you can see here, there's this is having 10 small partitions over this side, and this side also it is be having 10 small partitions. Okay, so one big square has its sides equal to 1 centimeter. Okay, so this side will be equal to 1 centimeter, and similarly this side of the square will be equal to 1 centimeter, right? So now we have drawn the graph on this graph, drawn this shape on this graph paper. Now what we are going to do, we will see how many complete squares are there in this graph paper are coming inside this shape, whatever we have drawn. Okay, so can you see the tick marks over here? See these tick marks, right? These tick marks show the complete squares which are coming inside this graph, right? So this shape is having, so you can count these number of complete squares. This one is not a complete square, again this one is a complete one. So all the complete squares have been ticked here, and if you count them, there are 60 number of complete squares, right? Then what we are going to do, we will find out those squares which are having more than half of their area coming inside this shape. Okay, so like for example, see this one, this is square, more than half of its area comes inside this shape. But see this one here, very small part of the complete square comes inside the shape, or this one, less than half is coming inside the shape, right? So in this way we will count the number of those squares whose more than half of their portion is coming inside this shape. Okay, so if you count them, these are 12 in number. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will simply add these, both of these. See here, number of complete squares is equal to 60. Number of squares with more than half of their portion coming inside the shape is equal to 12. And area of each square, I already told you here. See, here I told you that one big square is having the edges 1 centimeter each, right? So what will be the area of one big square? Area of this big square will be equal to 1 centimeter square, right? So area of one big square is 1 centimeter square. And how many squares are we having? 60 this and 12 this. So 60 plus 12 is equal to 72. So the area of this shape comes out to be 72 centimeters square. All right, I hope you are getting this. So I have written all these points over here. So step 1, what are we going to do? Draw the shape on the graph paper. First of all, we will draw the shape on the graph paper that we are having. Then step 2, count the number of complete squares coming inside the shape. Third step, count the number of squares whose more than half portion comes inside the shape. Okay, so we had done both of this thing here, both of these jobs. We had counted the complete squares, that came out to be 60. We had counted the squares which were having more than half of their portion coming inside the shape, that came out to be 12, right? Then third step, okay, we have counted. Fourth step, add both the numbers, that came out to be 60 plus 12, that was 72. The addition of both these numbers gives us the area of the shape in centimeters square, right? So in this way we got the area of this shape that came out to be 72 centimeters square. So children, what you can do is take it as an activity for you. Take a graph paper, and if you don't have a graph paper at home, don't worry. Take a simple paper, plain paper, divide it into a number of squares 1 centimeter each. Okay, you can draw these lines at 1 centimeter distance, these bold lines. Okay, and then draw horizontal lines at distance of 1 centimeter each. You don't need to draw these smaller checks over here. Okay, just draw the big bold lines, 1 centimeter distant the vertical lines, and then 1 centimeter distant horizontal lines. You can draw it at any plain paper with the help of a scale, and then you can draw any shape over there, and simply you can count the number of complete squares, number of squares having more than half portion inside the shape, count them, get the area of your shape, and you can keep it somewhere so that you can get an idea of calculating or measuring the area of an irregular shape, right? So please take it as an activity, do it at home and see how it goes. It will be a fun thing to do. Okay, so that's all for today. Revise this portion, see what you have learned about area, and try doing the activity also. Okay, that's all for today.